My fiancé insisted we get matching tattoos of each other's names before the wedding. I agreed. During my appointment, the tattoo artist pulled me aside and showed me photos of 6 other women with the exact same tattoo design and his name. They all think they're engaged to him too. I'm 27F and my fiancé, Derek, 32M, proposed to me 6 months ago. It was romantic, thoughtful, everything I dreamed of. We'd been dating for 10 months. Quick, but when you know, you know. Right? That's what everyone says. That's what I believed. Derek is a pharmaceutical sales rep who travels a lot for work. He's gone maybe 2 weeks out of every month, visiting doctors' offices across 3 states. It explained why he was sometimes hard to reach, why our relationship had to be flexible with scheduling. I trusted him completely. 2 months ago, Derek suggested we get matching tattoos before the wedding. He wanted both of us to get each other's names with a small design, a heart with an infinity symbol wrapped around it. He showed me a sketch he'd drawn. It was actually beautiful, romantic, a permanent declaration of our commitment. I hesitated at first. Tattoos are forever, and I'd always heard you shouldn't get a partner's name tattooed. But Derek was so excited about the idea. He said it would be symbolic, that he wanted to carry my name on his skin for the rest of his life. He said it would make us even more connected before we made our vows official. He wore me down with romance. I agreed. Derek scheduled appointments at a tattoo shop about 40 minutes from where we live. He said the artist there was incredible, specialized in this exact style. He booked us for the same day, him at 2 p.m., me at 4 p.m. He'd go first, then I'd see his finished tattoo and get mine. Yesterday was our appointment day. Derek seemed nervous that morning, which I thought was sweet. He kept kissing me and telling me how much he loved me. He left at 1 p.m. to get to his appointment. I arrived at the shop at 3:45 p.m., a little early. The receptionist checked me in and told me Derek's appointment was running a bit long, but I could wait in the lobby. I sat down and scrolled through wedding planning stuff on my phone. About 10 minutes later, a man came out from the back. Tall, covered in tattoos, probably in his 40s. He looked at me and his face went strange. He glanced at the receptionist, then back at me. You're here for the name tattoo? With Derek. I nodded, smiling. Yeah. Is this done? Can I see it? His expression was hard to read. Can you come back here with me for a minute? Before your appointment. Something in his tone made my stomach flip. I followed him through the shop to a private office. He closed the door and gestured for me to sit. I'm Mike. I own this shop. I need to show you something before you get that tattoo. He pulled out his phone and started scrolling through photos. About 3 years ago, a guy matching your fiancé's description came in and got a tattoo. Same design you're about to get, a heart with an infinity symbol, with a woman's name inside. He came in with a woman. She got his name with the same design. He showed me a photo. A woman's wrist with Derek in elegant script, surrounded by the heart and infinity design. The exact design Derek had drawn for me. My mouth went dry. Who was she? Mike kept scrolling. 6 months later, different woman. Same guy. Same tattoo design. Different name for him, his name for her. Another photo. Another wrist. Derek in the same script, same design. Then again 6 months after that. And again. And again. You're number 7. He showed me 6 photos total. 6 different women, 6 different wrists, all with Derek tattooed in the exact same design. The dates on the photos were spaced out perfectly, roughly 6 months apart, going back 3 years. I couldn't breathe. Where is he right now? Mike's jaw tightened. He left through the back door about 5 minutes before you arrived. He got his tattoo, your name, same design as always, and said he needed to run to his car for his wallet. He didn't come back. I sent someone to check the parking lot. His car is gone. My hands started shaking. He knew. He knew you were going to tell me. Mike nodded grimly. I didn't make the connection until I saw his sketch this time and remembered the pattern. I pulled up my photos from previous appointments and there it was, same guy, same design, 6 different women. When I asked him about it during his session today, he got real nervous. Started sweating, making excuses. Then he bolted. Did you finish his tattoo? Most of it. It's done enough that it's permanent, but it needs touching up on the edges. So Derek was driving around right now with my name tattooed on his body. The 7th name. My brain couldn't process it. Mike pulled out an intake form. This is what he filled out today. I kept copies of all his previous forms too. Same basic info, but look at this. He showed me Derek's paperwork. The address was different than the one I knew, an apartment complex in a town 30 minutes away. The emergency contact was a woman's name I didn't recognize. The phone number was different from the one I had for him. Mike pulled out the other intake forms, dated from his previous appointments. Different addresses, different emergency contacts, different phone numbers. Every single time. I think your fiancé is running some kind of long con. I don't know what the end game is, but you're not the only woman who thinks she's engaged to Derek. I started crying right there in Mike's office. He grabbed me a bottle of water and a box of tissues. His receptionist came in, took one look at me, and immediately understood something bad had happened. Mike made a decision. I'm calling the police. This is fraud at minimum, maybe worse. And I'm going to try to contact these other women. You have their information? I have photos of their IDs from when they signed consent forms. Privacy laws make it tricky, but given what's happening, I think they deserve to know. The police arrived 20 minutes later. I gave them everything: Derek's real phone number, his address, or what I thought was his address, photos of us together, our engagement ring receipt, everything. They took copies of Mike's files and photos. The officer looked at the pattern of appointments, 6 months apart, always the same design, always his name on them, their names on him. How long have you been engaged? 6 months. The officer and Mike exchange looks. He proposes, gets engaged for 6 months, gets the tattoos, then disappears. Probably moves on to the next woman. The question is why? What's he getting out of this? That's when I remembered. The ring. Derek had been weird about the ring from the start. He insisted on putting it on a credit card, my credit card. He said his was maxed out from a work emergency, and he'd pay me back. The ring was expensive. Really expensive. Almost $8,000. He never paid me back. I'd asked twice, and he'd gotten defensive, said he was waiting for a big commission check. The wedding was in 2 months. I figured we'd combine finances after marriage anyway, so I let it go. The rings. My voice came out hoarse. He always makes them buy expensive rings on their own credit cards. The officer started taking more notes. Anything else? Money he borrowed? Purchases he had you make? I thought harder. The wedding venue deposit, $4,000. I'd paid it because Derek's commission check was delayed. The catering deposit, $3,000. Same excuse. The honeymoon package he'd insisted we book through his friend's travel agency, $6,000, paid up front by me because his card was having issues. Over $20,000. I paid over $20,000 for a wedding to a man who'd done this to 6 other women before me. I need to call my bank. The officer nodded. Definitely. And we need to figure out if he's actually Derek. That might not even be his real name. Update 1. 12 hours later. I didn't sleep at all. I've been at the police station for most of the night. They've been incredible, but the news keeps getting worse. Derek isn't his real name. The officer ran his photo through facial recognition and found him. His actual name is Marcus Webb, 35 years old, and he has a record. Fraud, identity theft, forgery. He's been running romance scams for at least 5 years. Mike managed to contact 4 of the 6 women from the tattoo photos. Their stories are nearly identical to mine. Met Derek, who was a traveling pharmaceutical sales rep. Whirlwind romance. Proposal around the 10-month mark. Engagement lasting exactly 6 months. Matching tattoo appointment where he disappeared right before they discovered the truth. Every single one paid for an expensive ring, paid wedding deposits, paid for honeymoon packages. Amounts ranging from $15,000 to $30,000. None of them ever saw him again after the tattoo appointment. The police think the tattoo appointment is his exit strategy. He knows the tattoo artist will eventually notice the pattern. He uses that as his cue to disappear, take the money he scammed, and move on to the next victim. But here's what I don't understand. Why get the tattoo at all? Why permanently mark yourself with these women's names? The detective had a theory. Some con artists have compulsions. They can't help themselves. The tattoos might be his trophy. Or maybe it's some twisted sense of commitment. He's marrying these women in his mind even though he's stealing from them. The detective showed me photos from Marcus's social media accounts under different names. He has at least 4 active identities. Different names, different jobs, different backstories, but always the same face. My Derek. One of the other women, Jennifer, agreed to talk to me on the phone. She was victim number 3, about 1.5 years ago. She sobbed through the whole conversation. He was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Attentive, romantic, everything I wanted. I really thought I'd found my person. Then he vanished, and I couldn't understand why. The police told me it was a romance scam, but I didn't want to believe he'd fake all those feelings. Did you try to find him after? For months. I hired a private investigator. Nothing. He was a ghost. Now I know why. Different names, different identities. The police told me today his real name isn't even Derek. It's like the man I loved never existed. That hit hard, because she was right. My Derek didn't exist. Marcus Webb existed, wearing Derek's face and personality like a costume. The other women are all in similar situations. Heartbroken, financially devastated, traumatized by the deception. We're all victims of the same man using the same playbook. Mike from the tattoo shop called this morning. He feels terrible even though none of this is his fault. He said he's implementing new policies, keeping better records, watching for patterns, anything to prevent being unknowingly complicit in future scams. He also offered to cover the cost of tattoo removal for all of Marcus's victims. Said it's the least he can do. I thanked him, but honestly, I don't know if I want it removed. It's a reminder, a permanent mark of my gullibility. My credit card company is working with me on the charges. Some might be recoverable, some won't. The wedding venue is being understanding. They'll refund most of the deposit since we're canceling due to fraud. The catering company is being harder to work with. The honeymoon package was booked through a fake travel agency. That money is gone. The website disappeared overnight. The friend Marcus claimed worked there doesn't exist. I've called my family. My mom cried. My dad wanted to hunt Marcus down himself. My sister flew in this morning to be with me. Having her here helps. Update 2. 1 week later. The news broke. Somehow the story got picked up by local media. Serial fiancé scams 7 women using tattoo shop was the headline. My name wasn't used, but seeing it in print made it real in a horrifying way. The publicity did something unexpected though. 3 more women came forward. We're not 7 victims. We're 10. And those are just the ones we know about. The police created a task force. Marcus Webb is wanted in multiple states for fraud, identity theft, and theft by deception. There's a warrant out for his arrest. His face is on Crime Stopper websites. All 10 of us victims have been in contact through a group chat the police helped set up. It's simultaneously the most depressing and most supportive space I've ever been in. We're all processing the same trauma, sharing our stories, finding the commonalities. The pattern is exact. 10 months of dating, 6-month engagement, same romantic gestures, same excuses about money, same insistence on the matching tattoos, same disappearance. One woman, Amanda, victim number 5, had something different happen. She didn't agree to get the tattoo. She told Marcus she wasn't comfortable with permanent marks. He disappeared 2 days later with $32,000 of her money. The tattoo isn't just a trophy or compulsion. It's a timeline. He proposes, gets engaged, and uses that 6-month window to drain as much money as possible. The tattoo appointment is his deadline. If you make it to the tattoo appointment, he bolts. If you refuse the tattoo, he bolts. Either way, the relationship is designed to end at exactly that point. The detective thinks there are probably more victims who haven't come forward out of embarrassment or because they didn't realize it was a crime. Romance scams often go unreported because victims feel stupid. I don't feel stupid anymore. I feel angry. We've all given detailed statements. The FBI is now involved because he's crossed state lines. They're tracking his credit card usage, his phone records, his known addresses. They think they're getting close. Meanwhile, I'm dismantling my life, canceling wedding invitations that were about to be sent out, returning gifts from my bridal shower, explaining to confused relatives why there's no wedding, sitting through pitying looks from everyone who knows what happened. The tattoo on Marcus's body, my name, is apparently not finished enough for him to appear in public comfortably. One of the FBI agents said that might slow him down, make him easier to find. I hope so. I hope my name scarred into his skin makes his life difficult. Final update. 6 weeks later. They caught him. Marcus Webb was arrested 3 days ago in Nevada, setting up his next identity, preparing to scam victim number 11. The woman he'd been dating had no idea. He'd proposed to her 3 weeks ago. She thought she was the luckiest woman alive. Then FBI agents knocked on her door and told her everything. She joined our support group. Victim number 11, except she didn't become a victim because he got caught first. She's devastated anyway. She loved him, believed him, planned a future with him. The fact that he didn't get her money doesn't erase the emotional damage. Marcus has been charged with multiple counts of fraud, identity theft, and theft by deception across 4 states. He's being held without bail. His public defender is trying to argue he has a psychological condition, that he's a love addict who can't help himself. The prosecutor's response was brutal. He can't help himself from systematically targeting vulnerable women, gaining their trust through elaborate lies, stealing tens of thousands of dollars and disappearing. That's not love addiction. That's predatory behavior. I testified at his preliminary hearing. Looked him right in the face as I described how he'd convinced me he was my future, how he'd isolated me from friends who questioned our quick engagement, how he'd manipulated me into spending money I couldn't afford to lose. He wouldn't look at me, just stared at the table while I spoke. 7 of his tattoos were visible in court. 7 women's names permanently marked on his arms and chest. The prosecutor made a point of having him show them to the judge. Physical evidence of his pattern of behavior. The trial is set for next year. All 11 of us will testify. The prosecutor is confident he'll be convicted on multiple charges. He's looking at significant prison time. As for the money, some has been recovered. Marcus had accounts under different names with portions of our stolen funds. It'll be divided among the victims. I'll get back maybe 30% of what I lost. The rest is gone, spent on living expenses and setting up new identities. The emotional cost is harder to calculate. I'm in therapy twice a week. Trust issues barely scratches the surface. How do I date again knowing someone can lie that convincingly? How do I believe anything anyone tells me? My therapist says it'll take time. That Marcus was an exceptional liar, a professional manipulator, and falling for his act doesn't make me gullible, it makes me human. She says most people would have fallen for it. That helps a little. The support group of victims has become genuinely supportive. We've all met in person now. We're planning to attend the trial together. There's talk of starting a foundation to help romance scam victims and educate people about the warning signs. Mike the tattoo artist has been amazing throughout this. He's completely changed his shop's policies and has been working with law enforcement on identifying potential scams. He gave all of us free laser tattoo removal sessions for our Derek tattoos. Most of us are taking him up on it. I start my removal sessions next month. It'll take multiple treatments to fully erase Derek from my wrist, but eventually, it'll be like he was never there. That's what I'm working toward, a life where Marcus Webb was never there, where I can trust again, love again, plan a future again without this shadow hanging over everything. He took a lot from me. Money, time, dignity, trust. But he didn't take everything. I'm still here. I survived. We all survived. And when I do eventually get married for real, to someone genuine who isn't running a long con, I'll know the difference. I'll see the green flags because I've learned to recognize the red ones. No more matching tattoos though. That's a hard no forever.